Let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. You can have both feet flat on the floor. And just feel really just feel the weight of your feet in the floor. Just make friends with your feet. You know, they're very, very precious, and we don't really give them enough credit. Until we break something or cut something or injure something, then we really know how important our feet are. Because then all of a sudden we start walking a little bit lopsided, and then that affects everything up the chain, all the way up to the head. So love your feet, appreciate them, have them about a hip's width apart, and have your shoulders aligned with your hips. And imagine your spine is just this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Take a nice deep breath. And then, bring your awareness to the crown of the head and just relax your scalp. Maybe you can feel some sensation there. Relax the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, and the mouth, and the jaw, the back of the tongue. Relax the back of the head, the back of the neck. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down, and relax the throat and the chest and the belly. And just allow all of your limbs to relax. Keeping in mind your alignment and just the body lengthening. So you're kind of like aligned, you're sitting kind of in a way that's conducive to concentration, to the flow of the blood, the breath, the lymph, the prana, the chi. But you're also relaxed. And noticing the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. Be aware of any sounds in your environment. I keep remarking to myself how precious it is up here because it is so quiet. It's this absence of silence, the absence of sound up here, apart from our neighbor, who's a bit of a musician, I think. He gets out the electric guitar and plays these riffs, which are very, very sweet and makes a real nice summer vibe up here. And that usually lasts for about half an hour. Then he stops. And it's a very sweet spot here. So wherever you are, just be aware of what sounds are around you, whether it's traffic or people in your home, your animals, your pets. And then what's going on for you today mentally? Like what's going on in the mind? You just check in with yourself in the same way you might check in with a friend. And then just put some space in between your thoughts. trying not to follow them with the mind. Be objective about what you're seeing. And then bring to mind the people of our life, our loved ones, these ones we don't, feel quite so affectionate towards, to say the least. And then there's our strangers. Being aware that these relationships are indeed interchangeable. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering, and then having this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So then we'll do this meditation for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And, just because this is what I'm, involved in right now, if any of you have experienced cancer, or it's touched you or your family in any way, do this meditation for yourselves, for your family, for your friends, for all the people out there who are undergoing treatment. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, and we can equally change it by creating positivity instead. And we start by applying the 4 opponent powers. The first of these is the power of regret. And so just think, sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience some kind of suffering in the future. So we think it makes sort of sense logically to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and it has 2 sections, 2 subsections: refuge and developing compassion. So we think about refuge. There's the outer refuge, which is, our teachers, the Buddhas. So in this case, Vajrasattva. There's also the inner refuge, our own inner wisdom. And Lama Yeshe used to talk a lot about that. Don't forget your own inner refuge, your own inner teacher, your own inner wisdom, your own inner enlightenment. So in this case, we're relying on Vajrasattva, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing this Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then we have this little section here on compassion, developing compassion. This is this wish for people to be free from suffering. So this is kind of what comes into my heart when I think about doing this this swim that I'm doing, 5 miles in August and 5 miles in September. Just a real wish for all these people to be free from suffering. And so in this way, we're relying upon other beings. I'm relying upon other beings to develop compassion in my heart. And so then think of people that, you've harmed, and then think of people that have harmed you, particularly for these people, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification. Well, as Yangtze Rinpoche said, this practice of healing for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying and talking about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So again, feel really happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And this includes yourself, because as you talk, you're going to hear it. And the next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you just imagine you go into a room, it's dark, you flick on the switch and the light instantly comes. So imagine here, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness, and depression, anxiety, bitterness, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And now we come to the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and this fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negativity from your consciousness. It's working at a very, very subtle level here. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita Dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So really try and feel that. And now we come to this power of resolve, and this is, the final step in the purification process. It's a really crucial one, is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, your determination. We're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this aspiration to not harm becomes like a beacon that guides your body and speech and mind in new directions. So Rinpoche used to talk about everything being on the tip of the wishes. So, what he's saying is you've got to want to do it. And then you have to decide. So just rejoice in your effort, first of all. Just give yourself a pat in the back for turning up. And then think about something you'd like to work on. And maybe one of those things could be, just for example, just observing your mind and then not judging this or that about what's there. And maybe that's, this is something we do all the time to other people. We kind of check out what people are wearing, or that doesn't really quite go with that, or do you know what I mean? We size people up, and it happens in a flash. We're not half the time not even aware that that's what we're doing. So I think Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then here's our, thank you, Michael, if that was you putting that up. Chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, emerged from cyclic's life's imposing forest, the single teacher guru for all beings, in every well-known world, in all directions, the eminent bestower of the Dharma, concealed by armor made of loving kindness, well shielded by the shield of empathy, with wisdom sword in hand, with bow and arrow, concluding war with ignorance and kleshas, the Mara's enemy and tamer hero, eliminating threats from all four Maras, defeating all the armies of the Maras, a guide for living beings, the perfect Buddha. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much, everyone. Lots of love. Thank you for hosting. I think that was Michael. And sleep well. Do take care. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much.